Alright, welcome back. This is part 5 of the Jurassic Park tutorial. Right now we are going to get into Ptera, but before we do that, I want to introduce a new movement mechanic that will be coming up on this level, and that is what we call rock clips, or rock skips, or whatever you want to call them, rock glitches. So, throughout the game, on a few levels, we encounter these rocks right here. Now, there's a little mechanic we can do, which acts the same way as edge skips do, where if you land on them, you'll get pushed in a certain direction, just like an edge skip. These rocks will push you in the opposite direction that you're facing, though. So as you can see, I'm facing to the left, so it's going to push me to the right once I land on it. Even if I land on the extreme left edge of the rock, I still get pushed to the right. So in order to take advantage of this, what we need to do is, when we land on it, or right before we land on it, we need to turn around to face the opposite direction of where we want to go. So in this case, I want to be traveling to the left. So when I jump onto it, right before I touch the rock, I will turn around to the right, so that way I get pushed to the left. So it'll look like this. As you can see, when I land on it, I get pushed to the left since I turned around. Now obviously doing it like this is slow and you're going to lose time. This obviously saves just a few frames if you do it properly. But this is just to demonstrate what it looks like. Now to actually do it and save time, you're going to want to jump kind of far away from it. So you'll maybe jump around right here, and then as soon as you touch it, turn around very quickly. There you go. And again, it's very subtle. It doesn't save a whole lot of time. But yeah, again, as soon as you touch it, or right before you touch it, just turn around to the right, and then immediately turn back to the left, so you can continue walking forward. When I do this turnaround, I'm not pressing left on the D-pad, I'm more so just sliding my thumb across the D-pad, so I can very quickly turn around to the right, and then immediately turn back to the left. So, again, this is pretty hard to do. So there you go. Right before I touch the rock, I just slide my thumb on the D-pad, and then hopefully if I did it correctly, I will be able to save a few frames. Now, real quick, this is a version difference. This is the first version difference we'll encounter. If you are playing on the classic games collections and you're trying this, you may have already found out that when you try this, you might be hovering in midair. For some reason on the classic games collection, if you're holding in one direction on your joystick and then the other direction on the D-pad, since there are two separate movement controls, you'll just be floating in midair. When you're trying to do this, right before you touch the rock, if you're pressing two different directions on the joystick and the D-pad, you'll be floating in midair. That's what we call the hover glitch. I don't know why it happens on that game, on the Classic Games Collection, but that's just how it is, I guess. So in order to compensate for that, you really just need to use only either just the joystick or your D-pad. You can't use both. So it's a pretty easy fix. Just use either maybe just your joystick, or if you're using your D-pad to move, then just use the D-pad. So that's rock clips. We are going to encounter a few rocks on Ptera. So let's just jump into it. Alright, so this level isn't super strict when it comes to ammo conservation. However, it might be a little bit difficult if you're just learning the game, because when we go through the cliff sections, you're probably going to be using a lot of your tranquilizer, since there's a lot of those birds throughout the level. And since you're not entirely familiar with the spawns, you might just be holding your tranquilizer for the most part. But once you learn all the spawns, then ammo really doesn't become a problem on this level. So anyways, let's continue. Well, let's start. Jump over that guy. Let me get a save here because there's a cool little jump we can do here. So this raptor right here, we can easily jump over him without him having to follow us. If you want to take it safe, you can just run into this block, wait for him to jump over, and if you're quick enough to jump underneath him, then he won't follow you like that. I'll do that again. Just wait for him to pass over you, and then continue on. Now there is a faster way to do this jump. Let me just kill him real quick. So if you notice this concrete barrier behind me, and you'll notice this black line that the tip of my gun is directly in line with right now. Once you pass this black line, so I'm in front of it right now, once you pass it, then you'll just do a full jump. And that's the visual cue I look for whenever I jump over the raptor. So it'll look like this. Once you pass over that black line, then just do a full jump. And I failed at that time, of course. There you go. It is a little bit tight. The timing window is a bit tight to do, but it's not horrible. Again, the safer way is to just run into the concrete block, and then as soon as he passes over you, then you can just jump over. That strat isn't too difficult. Now this is the triple raptor section. This is really just a matter of learning the timing of these jumps so they don't follow you. If they do happen to follow you, you probably want to kind of jump around them and kill them, because if you end up with 2 raptors on screen, or 3 I guess, then it can get really messy. Yeah, you don't want to have more than 1 raptor on the screen. So you really want to learn the timing of these jumps. The first jump, and then the second jump is slightly delayed. So you don't want to jump immediately after the first jump. But then the third jump is an immediate one. So immediately jump, and you'll get over that one. So first jump, delay, and then immediately jump. You can see the timing on that. I'll do it one more time. You'll delay your second jump, and then you'll jump immediately for the third one. So delay, jump immediately. And again, of course, if things get out of hand, like one of them gets through, and you could just do something like this. Just jump over them and kill them that way. Alright, going into the cliff section now. So going through this cliff section, you want to be using your tranquilizer for the most part, or any of your non-lethal weapons, but mostly your tranquilizer, because that's the easiest weapon to use. If you use your lethal weapons, then your dinosaur counter at the top is going to go down very quickly, because we will be encountering a lot of these birds. So, for starters, these first 3 birds, I've actually been starting to use my shotgun on them, because if you're on hard mode, it doesn't happen often, but it is possible that they can slip past your stream of bullets, and they will attack you that way. Now, the difficulty difference between normal and hard actually comes into play on this level, because on hard, those birds take 2 tranquilizers to kill, whereas on easy or normal, they only take 1. So if you're playing on normal, you can just use your tranquilizer and they'll never get past. You'll always kill them all. But on hard, sometimes they do get through, so I've just been resorting to using my shotgun to kill them at this point. but you can pick whatever you want. Again, sometimes they'll get through the tranquilizer. Now, it should be noted that all of these spawns that we're going to encounter, they are predetermined. They might seem a little bit random, but that's just because of your movement, and your movement might vary slightly. But if you have the same movement throughout, then you'll get the same spawns. So again, as long as you memorize all of these spawns, then it shouldn't be too big of a deal. Again, this whole level is just memorizing these bird spawns. Now this part right here, we might encounter this boulder right here that you saw just drop. Again, the boulder spawns are also predetermined, but they can vary depending on your movement again. Sometimes that boulder will fall behind you, or sometimes it might spawn up here. And if it spawns up here, then it could get in the way. So what I like to do is I like to have out my shotgun. And then as soon as I jump up here, again, sometimes the boulder might be falling right in front of me. So at this point, I'll have my shotgun out at the ready, to where if it does fall in front of me, then I can just shoot it. I'll try to get it to do that, but again, sometimes, again, I don't really understand this spawn, to be honest. Okay, there we go. So sometimes it'll do that. And again, I want to have my shotgun out to where... There we go, I missed it, but if you get your shotgun out, you can just shoot it, and you won't have to worry about it. Like that. So continuing on, you can jump past these birds, get up here. That guy won't be in that position. Here, let me get through this again. It's okay to kill a bird with a lethal weapon every now and then. Again, as long as you're not going crazy on them. Alright, so this part is standard. Pretty self-explanatory. There is a jump we can do right here. From here, we can immediately jump up here and get into the next section. Otherwise, you'll just jump up here like this. This jump isn't too hard though, so might as well go for this. Alright. So now we have what I demonstrated at the start of this video. So coming up we have, actually let me make a save right here. So coming up we have the rock, and we are going to attempt to do a rock clip to save a couple frames. Now for starters, if you don't want to do the rock clip, it's really easy to just get past this rock and just continue on like this. If you want to do a slightly faster method on this ramp leading up, you can look up and shoot it like this, just to kill it early. That method's pretty easy, to be honest. Just look up and shoot it from below, and then continue on. Just shoot your way through and continue on like that. Now, the rock clip method. Now, as I mentioned before, once you touch the rock, it's going to push you in the opposite direction of where you're facing. And that also applies from underneath. So you don't actually have to do rock clips landing on top of them. So if we jump up into this rock, again, this is a pretty tight window. You have to be jumping from the very edge of this platform, like this. So if you jump up into it, you'll get pushed to the left. Since I was facing the right, okay, this actually doesn't really work after doing it. So you land right here, and we're already facing to the right, which is what we want. So all we got to do is just jump up into it, and then we get pushed slightly to the left, and then we can continue on. Now when you do this quickly, there will be a boulder that will fall down in front of you. And if you're fast enough, that boulder will actually get in the way. So you also need to have your shotgun out for this boulder as well. I'll have my shotgun out, jump up into it, and that was the boulder that I just destroyed. As soon as I do the clip, then I will shoot it with my shotgun. So here it is again. There you go. Just like that. Again, this strat only saves a couple frames at most, so you might want to opt for just doing something like that. So here it is again. And do something like that. Again, you can always take some of these sections pretty slowly, because these birds can get a bit overwhelming at times. And they do respawn. Even if you kill them, they will respawn. So that is something to be aware of. So when you're learning, just kind of take your time getting comfortable with all these spawns. And then I'll do the rock clip one more time. So I'll have my shotgun out, jump up into it, and I was a little bit slow that time, so the rock missed me entirely. Okay, that's something that might happen too, but if that happens, that's no big deal really. You just continue on anyways. There we go. And continue on. Alright, so this room, we have two different routes we can take. I'll show you the easier, slightly less chaotic route. And that is going to be going to the left. Nice flying compy. We'll have a rock right here. We can just destroy like that. I'm not entirely familiar with this route, so I apologize if it looks a little messy. So now right here, this is an important little bit. Actually, let me just resume. So we're going to be jumping up onto this ramp above me. Now when we, and this is a route specific bird spawn that we're going to get. So if you're taking this route, you need to be careful when jumping up onto this next ramp, because actually, yeah, let me make a save. Because there is going to be a bird that spawns right there, and he will knock you down every single time if you're not careful. So what you need to do is get him to spawn, and then jump around him. Possibly even kill him. Now again, you do want to be careful if you kill him. If you get too far away, again, he'll respawn like that. You can see how he's just constantly respawning. Yeah, so he can be quite the pain. So if you do kill him, you want to really be kind of close to the top of this ramp so he doesn't respawn. But if you keep him alive, then he won't respawn. You can do something like that where you jump around him. So yeah, be aware of that guy right there. And then you would continue on. Now the second route, which is slightly slower, or no, sorry, it's slightly faster, but it is slightly more chaotic. So what we're going to do is, I'll just demonstrate the route real quick. So it looks like this. And then we're back here. Now that bird spawn that I was mentioning before, he has already spawned in. So if you take that route, then he's already spawned in at this point. So you won't have to worry about jumping up and getting hit by him again. So again, that bird spawn is only specific to the slower routes. The faster route, you don't have to worry about him. But you do have to worry about all these other birds. So, but you can just kind of get a steady stream of tranquilizer and get through everything. Just like that. Again, if your movement's the exact same every time, then you'll know what the spawns are, and they're not going to be too difficult. But if your movement varies just a little bit, then, like if you slow down, then the bird patterns might get a little bit out of hand. But if you're clean with your movement, then you can just easily go through everything. Again, these routes throughout this whole level is just going to take a bit of practice to get used to. So that's what it looks like. Okay, so we have one more rock on this level. And we can do another rock clip right here, but this is one of the hardest strats in the game. And it only saves a few seconds, or a few seconds. I wish it saved a few seconds. It only saves a few frames. So what I would recommend instead, just shoot it normally and continue on like that. But if you insist on saving these few precious frames, we're gonna do what I mentioned before, where instead this time, as you can see, we're already facing to the left. So what we need to do is when we jump, we're gonna jump at the very edge of this cliff. Otherwise we wouldn't touch the rock in the first place. So we need to jump at the very edge. Once we jump, we'll turn around to face to the right, and then we'll turn back to the left so I can continue forward. So it'll look something like this. Hopefully I can get it. Yeah, I missed it. There we go. And as you can see, once you get the clip and you're up here, you will land very close to the edge of this cliff. So you need to be ready to immediately jump again to get up. Yeah, this strat, yeah, and you need to make sure you actually jump far enough, or jump high enough, to where you can get onto the cliff, like that. So that's about a 50% jump, I want to say. The first jump is about 50%, and then the next jump is just a full 100% jump to get up onto the grassy part. Yeah, I would not recommend doing this, because it is really risky. If you fall down, you'll lose quite a bit of health. Again, I would just recommend shooting it with a shotgun or something and continue on. But if you insist, just... yeah, that's another thing that can happen. You have to be very fast with the second jump. But yeah, jump at the very last second, and then right after you jump, turn to the right, then immediately turn to the left again, and then jump one more time to get onto the grassy section. Yeah, this is a really hard strat, and I do not go for this in full games. There we go, that's what it looks like. Alright, moving on. We don't have to worry about using our non-lethal weapons anymore, since the rest of this level we are going to be encountering humans. So switch over to your lethal weapons. I use my machine gun for the most part throughout this section. There is an ammo cache right here, so you can choose either your shotgun or your machine gun. It really doesn't matter too much because this section is not super long. So if you insist getting this one, just choose whichever weapon you prefer. So just shoot these guys, climb up the ladders. I like to shoot this guy with the shotgun up top, because sometimes he'll take pot shots at you. He'll take pot shots at you while you're climbing across the rail. So if you kill him early, then you won't have to worry about that. Okay, so there is a health kit at the very end of this platform, which you might want to opt for, especially if you're first learning, because this is one of the harder missions. This is certainly one of the harder missions for beginners. So this health kit might be important. Now, if you do grab this health kit, then these guys right here are going to respawn. At least most of them will. Or if you're fast, only that one guy will spawn, so do be aware that they might respawn. There you go. Yeah, if you go too far to the right, then you'll get 2 spawns. So that health kit is there if you need it. Now we have another strat that's pretty hard to do. Actually, let me get a better save. There we go. So this rail is guarded by this grenadier. If you immediately jump onto the rail without realizing it, then he'll hit you and you'll get knocked back. So what you can do, the easy strat is to just kill the guy from afar and continue on like this. That's the easy strat. Now there is one strat you can do. We can actually do a damage boost. We can manipulate this grenade throw to where it somehow ends up behind you once you land on the rail. And if you do it properly, then the grenade will somehow be behind you. It'll hit you, but it'll boost you forward instead of backwards. Now to do that, we are going to take out our shotgun. We are going to, as soon as we pass this orange cord on the ground, as soon as we step over it, then we are going to shoot our shotgun at the grenadier. And then just a few frames later, we will then jump onto the rail. And if done properly, then you'll get the damage boost. So it'll look something like this, and hopefully I'll get it. Okay, so I failed it that time. Yeah, this is also a really hard strat. There we go, that's what it looks like. And we'll continue on. So as soon as you pass the orange cord, shoot, and then jump. Yeah, I'm... Even now, I'm still not 100% consistent at this. I'm not even close to 100% consistent. It is a really difficult strat. Yeah, I'd still have difficulty with this one. There we go. It is super satisfying once you get it, though. I will admit. If you do happen to fail it, like you get boosted back, then yeah, you'll have to stand back and shoot them like that. There we go. Anyways, we'll continue now. Okay, so one thing that's really important right here, coming up this ladder, this second short ladder right here. There's going to be a running soldier coming at you from the right. You need to be aware that if he hits you, then he will knock you all the way down back here. And you might end up dying. So I'll try to demonstrate that. So yeah, it'll look like that. And you lose a ton of health. So when approaching this, have out your shotgun so you can immediately just shoot him like that. So you don't want to jump up immediately. If you want to take it slow, you can just wait for him to pass. If you're going to be fast, though, you need to have out your shotgun so you can shoot him. So yeah, this is super important to be aware of, because if you forget about him, he will knock you all the way down, and he might end up killing you. Alright, continuing on. Sometimes at the top of this ladder there is a flamer that will spawn right here. So that's something you need to be aware of. I'll try to get him to spawn so I can show what to do if he does. I'm honestly not entirely sure what gets him to spawn. Let's see if I can get him to spawn though. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's gonna Want to spawn? Okay, so yeah, I tried for like 10 minutes just now, trying to get him to spawn, and I couldn't do it. I don't understand this spawn, this despawn. But anyways, he will spawn right here. And if he does, you can easily just jump up right here and shoot him down like this from afar. He won't walk up to you or anything. He just spawns standing, so he'll always be in this position. So if you do get the flamer spawn, just jump up the ladder, land right here, and you'll take minimal damage at all. You might not even take any damage whatsoever. But yeah, just stand right here, shoot him like this, and continue on. Now for the end of the mission, you actually don't need to kill these 3 guys. All you need to do is just jump up to the top, and the mission will end. Okay, next up, we have dropship supplies. Alright, so for starters, this first guy, if you're on normal, this guy right here, if you're on normal, you can just take out your machine gun and shoot him down like this. But if you're on hard, then he will take a shot at you, and you will lose some health. Now, this level, if you're gonna try to go as fast as possible, you're gonna cut your health pretty close, most likely. So you want to do everything you can to try to avoid taking as much damage as possible. You want to take as little damage as possible going throughout this level. So the timing to jump over him, I just look at the in-game timer. Once it reaches 168, then I just jump. And that's all I do. Just wait for 168 and jump. Now, continuing on, this level is pretty straightforward. It's all a matter of just learning the spawns and knowing how to deal with it. There are a few spawns that are actually, there are going to be slightly different patterns in the same section. So you might need to learn the different spawns and plan accordingly on what you need to do. And I will demonstrate that once we get to those sections. But when it comes to ammo, this level isn't super strict as well, because we are going to pick up ammo along the way anyways. But I go through this whole level with my shotgun. So, again, 168, jump over. This part's pretty standard, just learn all the spawns. For all of these flamers, for all the flamers that you encounter in this level, you can easily just take them really slowly and shoot them from afar like this. Again, there are going to be a lot of flamers on this level. But if you're going fast, then you are going to just jump and shoot twice to kill those flamers. So it'll look like this. Shoot early and kill them like that. Now, again, as you can see, I've taken damage. And that's going to happen a lot if you're going fast throughout this level. So one more flamer. Again, you can easily just stand back and shoot him like this. Or if you're going to want to kill him fast, it'll be something like this. Oh, I failed that kill. It'll look like that. And again, you'll take more damage if you do that. So pick and choose your flamers that you want to kill fast. If you're starting off learning the game, then I would just highly recommend shooting the flamers from afar, because again, there's going to be a lot of them on this level. Now, here comes a difficulty difference. So these boxes will actually have different items. If you're on hard, you'll only get an ammo cache, and that'll be in the third box. If you are on normal, then you will get a health kit as well. I believe the health kit actually spawns on this box, and the ammo cache will spawn on this box, the first one. So the health and the ammo will be switched. So that's something to be aware of. But if you're on hard, I just look up like this, shoot it early, and then pick up the ammo like that. There is another ammo kit along the way, which you don't have to pick up. 34 ammo is going to be fine. You'll be able to make it through. But there is one more that I will show off. So anyways, continuing on. Watch out for the landmines. Here comes another flamer up here. You can easily just stand back and shoot him like this. Or if you're going fast, you can do something like that. Kill him like that. Then another flamer coming up right here. Do something like that. Okay, so this part right here, we have these running soldiers, and you can actually get 2 separate patterns of spawns. For starters, it's not super important to know what spawn is what and how to react accordingly. But once you start getting more comfortable with this level, then it might start to become more important to know what spawn and what pattern you get. But for starters, for beginners, the best idea is to keep out your shotgun. And if you have any soldiers running in front of you, or running directly towards you, then you can just blast them in the face to get them out of the way. So what you want to do, the easiest strat is, once you get to the top of this log that's in front of me, not the one I'm standing on, but the ramp in front of me, you're just going to jump. If you jump at the top of that log, then you'll avoid all the spawns, or any pattern that you'll get. So it'll look like this. So just jump at the top, and you might need to jump again. So just get used to jumping at the top of this log, like this. Again, it doesn't matter what spawn you'll get at this point, because you'll avoid, jumping at the top of that log, you'll avoid everything. So I'm going to attempt to get the other spawn. Hopefully I can. So there are 2 separate spawns, like I said. Now, depending on what spawn you get, will come down to the first guy that we encounter. The first running soldier. So this guy right here. So that guy can either come in early or late. Now, if he's early, then you're going to have another soldier spawn after this ramped log. So if that first guy is early, you're just going to want to jump at the last second on the top of that log, and you'll avoid everything. So that's the easy one. So if he's early, you want to jump. And you'll be able to jump over all the running soldiers that are going to come running underneath you. Now, if I can get the other spawn where he spawns in late, then hopefully I can demonstrate that. Okay, so I have the late spawn now. So as you can see, at this point, if I got the early spawn, he would already be on screen, and he would be running towards me. But since I have the late spawn right now, it's going to be slightly different. The soldiers that would normally be running underneath you on the previous section, the previous spawn, they're actually going to be behind you this time. And more importantly, there's going to be a soldier that will be shooting you. So if you do the jumping strat from before, you can do that, but you will get shot. And you will take a little bit of damage. So if you want to avoid taking that damage, instead of jumping at the top of this log, you need to drop down. Drop down and then jump. So that way you jump over his bullet. And I'll demonstrate what that looks like. So he's going to come in late. You can see how much later he is. I'll drop down from the top of the log and then jump. So I'll drop and then jump. And that was the bullet that that guy would have hit me with. So I'll do it again real quick. As you can see, he came in late, so I drop down, then I jump over the bullets. And that avoids taking that damage. So if he's early, then you want to jump at the top of the log. If he's late, then you want to drop down. Again, it's not super important to know. If you want to have a default strat, you can just always just jump over at the top of the log and you'll avoid everything, although you might get shots. So that's one thing that might happen. So if he's early, then you want to jump. If he's late, then you want to drop. But again, if you want to default, just always jump at the top of that log. Okay. Okay, so right here I'm going to make a save. So these guys in this little trench right here sometimes get in the way. What you can do is just get your shotgun out and do a diagonal shot like this and get past them real quickly. That can be a little bit tricky to do. So an easy strat you can do is just not do that. You'll hesitate in the air after you jump off the box, so it'll look like this, and kill him that way. So just stop moving in the air for a split second and continue on. And then this bazooka guy is going to come flying in. So you can kill him like that. Or if you want to be safe, just get him to spawn in, duck down, and then kill him like that. Next up, we have another flamer. Again, you can easily just stand back and shoot him like this if you'd like. Or if you want to go fast, it'll look something like that. Like that. Now again, here's another running section of running soldiers. You can also get different spawns on this part, but the strat's going to be the exact same. Just keep your shotgun out if you have any guys coming flying in towards you. But again, at the top of this ramped log, you'll do a jump, and you'll avoid everything. So that's your default strat for everything. So jump at the top of this log, and you'll avoid everything. Any spawn that you'll get. If you jump at the very top, you'll just jump over everything. There we go. I got a different spawn that time. Sometimes you'll have to jump a second time, as you can tell by that. So just jump at the top of that log, and you'll get over everything. Next up, we have quite a tricky section. You can duck under this flamer and kill him like this. And now we have this very peculiarly placed flamer behind this double box. So you can't do your jumping and killing strats. So you're probably going to take damage on this section, regardless of what strat you do, no matter how safe you take it. So you might want to take out this grenadier if you can, and then quickly jump over everything like that. Continue on. That's the safest method you can do. You don't want to drop down with him because you'll be too close to him and you can't duck down. He will kill you like that. So you want to avoid contact with him at all costs. You're just going to want to run past him with whatever method you do. So you can be safe like this. Stand back and kill the grenadier like that. He might hit you because he is kind of annoying. But if the grenadier is dead, then you can easily just jump past. You might take a little bit of damage again, but that's the safest method. Now the fast method is going to look something like this. Once you jump off this box, you will shoot diagonally down to kill the flamer, the first flamer. So it'll look like this. Sorry, it'll look like this. And then continue on like that. This is a pretty risky strat. You actually don't even need to kill the grenade guy. It's just ingrained in my muscle memory to do that, but you don't have to. So that's what it looks like when you're going fast. One more flamer, or sorry, we have two more flamers, but we have another one that you can easily just stand back and shoot like that. This grenade guy, I would recommend starting off killing him like that, because we are going to have the final flamer of this level coming up after these rocks. Again, you don't want to drop down right there, because he's too close to you, and he will shoot you. But you can stand on this second rock, get him to spawn in, and then drop down, or duck down like that, and kill him like that. So second rock will get him to spawn in, and then step back and kill him like that. If you want to go fast, you can get out your shotgun and do your diagonal shots, like this. You'll take a little bit of damage again, but you'll kill him pretty quickly. Now, for the ending of this mission, all you need to do is you just need to kill this blue guy. You don't need to kill the grenade guy. Just kill the blue guy and take a step backwards. If you don't step backwards, then the level is not going to end. You will need to kill the grenade guy if you do that. But if you just kill the blue guy and then step backwards, then the level's going to end. I guess the game thinks the grenade guy is dead once you despawn him. But that's how you end the level. So yeah, that's a lot of information coming at you just on a very short level. I'd maybe recommend watching the world record for that IL. Or maybe even, I'd actually recommend watching the full game record, but watching that IL in that full game record, just to see kind of the safest strats you can do while still going fast. But yeah, that level takes a lot of learning to get the hang of. One of the harder missions in the game for casuals, for sure, and for speedruns. It's pretty tough. So yeah, that one takes a lot of practice, but you'll get the hang of it if you put in the work. So I think that's going to do it for this part. Next up, we will go into Seek and Destroy. So thank you for watching.